Good evening, everybody. My name is Bilal Hamdan. I have like a few years in information technology sector, around 25 years. I work currently in the cybersecurity agency, and this is my presentation to highlight the main differences between Agile and Scrum. So the main thing that differs from Agile and Scrum, Agile is a philosophy, or you can consider it as a very high-level way of thinking in order to deliver a project, mainly for software development projects. While Scrum is one of the methods, or I would say methodologies, how you can break down the philosophy into way of delivering that software project. That's the main thing. So those are the main concepts. This is a philosophy, or this is a method or a framework of how to apply this this philosophy. The best way to think about the philosophy and the method to make it easier is to think about color and green. So when you say color, it's color. You don't define any like color. But when you say green, it's clear, green. So Agile is the color and Scrum is the green or red or whatever, based on the methodology you are using. So Agile is a few values and principles which were agreed on in 2001 by a few guys. Mainly 3 of them are known, and the other 14 were part of it. So the main values, they are focusing on individual more than process, focusing on working software more than documentation, to focus on customer collaboration more than contract and negotiations, and responding to customer requests and changes more than planning. As for Scrum, it's a way of work, I would say, and the details of Scrum would be like described clearly in what they call Scrum guidance book, which you can, I think, if you want more details about it, you can refer. But this is the main differences between them and the definition. So Agile in general, I would say, is the umbrella of all the other methodologies. So Agile is way of thinking, and Scrum, Extreme, Lean, Crystal, Kanban, and all the other names that we hear from Mr. Jasser are the methods or frameworks that applies Agile way or philosophy. So it's like an umbrella for all of those. This table contains the main, I would say, facts, differences, you want to call it. So for inception, this one, Scrum was in the 90s, where Agile was in 2001. Founding documents, you will find it in Agile Manifesto for Agile, where in Scrum you will find it in Scrum Guide. Creators, names like Jeff, Ken, and here we have 3 + 14 who participated in the Manifesto of Agile. Type, this one is a philosophy and this one is framework or method. Alternatives for both, which is a little interesting. For Scrum, all the other way you think of work or frameworks can be replaced with Scrum. As for Agile, you replace it with Waterfall as a traditional, because it's a way of thinking more than how you actually implement this methodology. Prioritization, you have continuous improvement.
Again, the alternatives?
For Scrum, you can replace it with the other frameworks under the main umbrella, which are like Lean, Crystal, Kanban, based on the type of projects, of course. As for Agile, if you want to change the philosophy of thinking, you will change it with Waterfall. Exactly. Priorities, you have continuous improvement for Scrum, where for Agile you have continuous delivery, which at this point, I would leave it for Mr. Jasser to explain it if required. Tamam? So this is mainly the difference between, or the definition and difference between Agile and Scrum. And that's it. If you want to know more about the principles of Agile, which are 12, I highlighted that as a backup slide for you.
Yes, this is a very good slide, guys. This one, and I would love that you pay a little bit attention on this. Read them, please, at home. You will find some points, or maybe all of them are you are already doing. If you are in a management position, please take. You can stay. They may have some questions. So if you are in a management position or an interface with a customer, or you are in a customer service sector, or you are in an agile environment, then definitely you are doing that by heart. So please just read them, go through them. You will know that you are doing this by heart. And I'll leave the floor now for questions. If you have any questions for Mr. Bilal before I get back to the stage. Any questions online, guys? All cool?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So great, guys. From my side, I would just want to highlight something on this presentation, which is very good presentation. For your exam, you don't need to remember or to memorize any names or any years of agreements or production. Cool. So for this, I need you just to have the highlight that agile is the concept or methodology of thinking or way of thinking or management, and Scrum is, let's say, one of the tools and methodologies that might be used within agile. It's one of the most common and most used methodologies. Cool. It's the one referred to having the iterative plus the incremental and what I have already explained in the class. When it comes to other alternatives here, it's not about having the same essence of the differences or the alternative, selecting alternatives between agile and predictive. Agile is a way of thinking, predictive is a totally different way of thinking. هي العكس تماما or the opposite all the way around, right? But for the Scrum, they are all almost the same way of thinking. But if the team needed is bigger, then you are moving to another type of work. If the project that you are handling is with a different type, you are going to another way or methodology, of implementation. So those are ways of implementing agile. That's why we always say agile and Scrum. When it comes to those here, that's what I meant, that Kanban is not a totally opposite way of thinking than having Scrum on table. Kanban is something that you will use even if you are doing Scrum, for example, or you're doing Agile, or you're doing extreme programming. It's a way of visualizing, correct? What is the progress or what's the status of your project?
Who selected the method of the agile, the methodology?
If you have a VDO, the VDO. If you have a value development or a value delivery office, then the VDO, which replaces the PMO and the productive. So you don't have, then the project maybe manager, maybe the functional manager, maybe the team, the development team. You will be suggested it's a discussion, brainstorming, then selecting, unless you have a certain policy in the organization that maybe projects with, let's say, a duration of whatever to whatever, or from that type, or that will be done with that stakeholder, will be using that way of work. And about continuous improvement and continuous delivery, those are off record, those are the two are the same, almost the same, but you will be doing the cadence of delivery either on a continuous manner or maybe on a periodic manner or whatever. That's about the improvement, you'll be doing improvement in both. About delivery, you'll be doing a continuous delivery in both. So theoretically, they are making that difference. Maybe it's a study or maybe a paper online or whatever. But practically, they are the same. And for your exam, these are doing the same. Cool? Doesn't it feel hot?